So now that you know everything there is to know about monosaccharides, we are going to move on to talking about disaccharides. And when we first started chapter 20, I gave you a definition of disaccharide when we were talking about mono versus disaccharide versus polysaccharide. And we're going to add to that definition right now, not changing it, but just making it a little bit more scientific. We are going to define a disaccharide as two monosaccharides that are connected as an acetal. And as a reminder, because I know that acetals and hemiacetals, I know that it's really hard. It's a really, really hard topic. We're going to take a look at the difference between an acetal and a hemiacetal. So when you bring aldehyde together with an alcohol, you get that aldehyde carbon-oxygen double bond opening up, and you take the carbon chain from the alcohol and you add that carbon chain to either one of the oxygens. So this is the hemiacetal. And in the last section, you learned that the monosaccharides, when the monosaccharides curl up into their cyclic form, they form the hemiacetal. And if we wanted to, we could bring a second alcohol molecule in, and that second alcohol molecule would add itself to the other oxygen of the hemiacetal. So we would end up with a structure like this. This is the hemiacetal. No, that's the acetal. And in this structure, so this carbon chain from the acetal has gone right here. Alcohol. So disaccharide is when we take two monosaccharides, one of them is acting as the hemiacetal, and the other monosaccharide is acting as the alcohol, and together they make an acetal disaccharide, which is pretty cool. We're going to talk about three disaccharides, and we're going to call them the most important disaccharides. These are going to be the most common in terms of everyday and nutrition and stuff like that. And this is the order that we're going to talk about them. First thing we're going to talk about is maltose, which is malt sugar. And it comes from glucose combining with glucose. The second one that we're going to talk about is lactose, which is the sugar that we find in milk. And it comes from combining glucose with galactose. And number three that we're going to talk about is sucrose, which is from cane or beet. So this is beet sugar. And it comes from glucose and fructose.